Today, I want to talk about something that might seem simple but holds profound power: walking alone. Yes, walking alone, not with your playlists, podcasts, or your dog, just you, your thoughts, and the rhythm of your steps. In a world that constantly pushes us to connect, share, and beyond, the idea of walking alone can feel foreign or even uncomfortable. But let me tell you something: there is magic in solitude. Walking alone isn't just about movement. It's about discovery. It's about giving yourself permission to slow down, tune in, and step into a deeper connection with yourself. It's about creating space not just on the path you dare walking, but in your mind and heart. I've experienced this magic myself. I've felt the whisper of clarity in the rustle of leaves, the pulse of resilience in the rhythm of my steps, and the gift of courage in the quiet. And I've come to believe that walking alone can be one of the most healing and empowering practices we can embrace. So today, I want to share with you the 4 key benefits of walking alone, benefits that can transform not only the way you walk, but also the way you live. Walking alone is an invitation to step away from the chaos of the world and into the sanctuary of your own company. In a world that constantly demands your attention, notifications buzzing, people talking, responsibilities peeling up, it's easy to lose touch with yourself. The noise, both external and internal, can drown out the quieter parts of you: your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams. But when you walk alone, you create a sacred space where those whispers can finally be heard. It's a moment to tune out the distractions and tune into yourself. As your feet hit the ground, a rhythm urges steady, grounding, familiar. With each step, you get reminded of your own presence, your own pace, your own heartbeat. It's as if the world pauses just long enough for you to remember who you are beneath all the roles you play. You might start to notice thoughts you have been pushing aside, emotions you deemed too busy to feel, or ideas you've been too distracted to explore. These moments of solitude can feel like meeting an old friend and in that quiet connection, there's no need to perform, to impress, or to explain. You get free to simply be. Sometimes it's in the silence of walking alone that clarity begins to emerge. You might find answers to questions you didn't even realize you were carrying. Or maybe it's not answers you find, but the permission to let go of the need for them. Walking alone isn't about solving everything. It's about making space to breathe, space to breathe, and space to just exist. And in that space, you begin to feel a sense of grounding, a return to yourself. You remember what it feels like to be present, fully present, without the world pulling at you from every direction. It's not always easy to carve out this time. Sometimes being alone with yourself can feel unfamiliar or even uncomfortable. But with each walk, the discomfort fades, replaced by a quiet knowing, a recognition of your own voice amidst the noise of the world. Walking alone is more than a physical journey. It's a journey back to you. The rhythm of walking has an almost magical ability to bring order to the chaos in our minds. When life feels overwhelming, when decisions loom large, or when thoughts spiral in circles, walking alone offers a way through. There is something about the steady cadence of your steps that mirrors the process of untangling a knot. The act of moving forward physically seems to signal your mind to move forward mentally. You are no longer stuck in the same space, staring at the same problems. Instead, you dare, creating motion, and with motion comes perspective. As you walk, your mind begins to relax. The pressure to solve everything right now starts to lift, replaced by the gentle flow of your thoughts. Without even realizing it, you begin to think differently, more openly, more creatively. Sometimes it feels as if answers rise up from the ground beneath your feet, emerging effortlessly in the rhythm of your movement. Ideas that felt elusive suddenly appear with clarity, like pieces of a puzzle falling into place. It's not because you're trying harder. In fact, it is the opposite. Walking alone gives you permission to stop forcing solutions and start allowing them. And when you give yourself that space, the mind does what it's designed to do. It finds patterns, it connects ideas, it resolves conflicts. The fresh air, the changing scenery, and the physical motion create a kind of mental reset. Problems that once felt insurmountable seem more manageable, less intimidating. You might realize the answer was simpler than you thought. Or perhaps you uncover a new way of seeing things, an angle you hadn't considered before. But it is not just about finding solutions. It's about the process itself, the act of giving your mind the freedom to wander, explore, and settle. Even if you don't find the answers you are looking for, walking alone leaves you feeling lighter, clearer, and more centered. It's as if the rhythm of your steps has gently swept away the mental clutter, leaving room for insight and peace to take root. Walking alone is a quiet act of courage, a reminder that you can move through life's moments on your own terms. It is not about proving anything to anyone. It's about showing up for yourself step by step and recognizing the strength that already resides within you. Each time you walk alone, you are practicing independence in its simplest, purest form. No one is guiding you. No one is setting the pace or choosing the path. It is just you making decisions, trusting yourself, and moving forward. There is something deeply empowering about that. With every step you tap, affirming your ability to navigate life, the strain, both the smooth stretches and the rocky patches. You may not even realize it, but you dare building resilience. The kind of resilience that doesn't shout or demand attention. It's quiet. It's steady. It is the kind of resilience that says, I can stand on my own, even when things feel uncertain. Walking alone also gives you the space to reflect on the challenges I faced. It's a time to acknowledge the ways you've shown up for yourself, even when it was hard. To honor the small victories, the moments no one else saw but you felt deeply. In those moments of reflection, you realize something powerful. You've faced hard things before, and you've made it through. You've navigated storms, taken missteps, and still found your way back to solid ground. And every time you take a solitary walk, you dare practicing that same strength. You dare proving to yourself, again and again, that you don't need to have all the answers or anyone holding your hand to take the next step. You dare enough just as you are. Walking alone also teaches you to trust the process, to trust that even if the path isn't clear, even if it winds and twists, you have what it takes to keep going. Resilience doesn't mean you want to feel doubt or fear. It means you will keep moving forward despite them. And that is what walking alone reminds you, that resilience isn't about perfection. It is about presence. It's about showing up step after step and knowing that you are more capable than you often give yourself credit for. Walking alone invites you into a state of presence, a chance to experience the world without filters or distractions. In our busy lives, it is so easy to rush past moments, caught up in thoughts as of what is next or what has already happened. But when you walk alone, something shifts. The noise quiets, the pace slows, and you begin to notice what's right in front of you, what has always been there but so often goes unseen. There is a crispness in the air, the kind that awakens your senses. You might catch the faint scent of pine or rain, or the warmth of sunlight on your skin. The sound of your own breath becomes clear, steady and grounding, like a gentle reminder that you're alive here now. The rhythm of your steps connects you to the earth beneath you, every footfall a tiny affirmation of presence. And as you walk, the world around you comes into focus. You notice the texture of tree bark, the way it seems to tell a story of time and resilience. You hear the rustling of leaves in the breeze, a symphony of nature that plays just for you in that moment. Even the shadows on the ground seem alive, shifting and dancing with the light. These are not just observations. They carry anchors. Each detail pulls you back to the present, away from the pull of your mind's endless chatter. This is mindfulness not as a task or a technique, but as a natural state that walking alone helps you slip into. You don't have to try, you just have to be. And in that being, you start to feel a deep connection not only to the world around you, but also to yourself. You realize that presence is a gift, one that walking alone offers freely and without expectation. There's no rush, no agenda, just you, the moment, and the steady rhythm of your steps. And in that rhythm, you find something rare and precious, the opportunity to fully inhabit your life, one quiet moment at a time. Choosing to walk alone is an act of quiet bravery. In a world that often equates busyness with worth and noise with value, stepping into solitude can feel uncomfortable, even vulnerable. But it is in that vulnerability that courage begins to grow. When you walk alone, there's no one to distract you, no one to validate choices, no one to lean on for direction. It is just you, the path ahead, and the trust you place in yourself to navigate it. This is where courage takes root, not in grand gestures or bold declarations, but in the simple act of being with yourself. Each step forward becomes a small but significant act of self-reliance. You may feel exposed at first, as if the silence is too loud or the space too wide. But over time, the discomfort softens, replaced by a sense of strength that feels both familiar and new. You begin to realize that you don't need the constant company of others to feel whole. You don't need external approval to validate your journey. Walking alone teaches you to trust your instincts, to believe in your ability to choose a direction and follow it, even if you are uncertain of what lies ahead. It's not about having all the answers. It is about finding the courage to move forward despite not knowing them. Solitude can feel like a mirror reflecting back your fears, doubts, and insecurities, but it also reflects your resilience, your resourcefulness, and your capacity to keep going. It shows you who you are beneath the layers of expectations and roles, and it reminds you that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means being with yourself fully and authentically. There's a quiet empowerment that comes with this realization. You begin to walk not with fear, but with confidence, not with hesitation, but with trust. Trust in your ability to face what comes. Trust in your capacity to be enough. And trust in the understanding that courage isn't about eliminating vulnerability, it's about embracing it. Walking alone is a practice in this kind of courage, one step at a time. Each step says, I am here. I am enough. I am capable. And that quiet declaration, repeated over and over, becomes the foundation of a brave and self-assured life. Walking alone is an open invitation to creativity, a chance to let your mind roam freely without boundaries or expectations. In the stillness of solitude, the noise of daily life begins to fade. There's no urgency to solve a problem or meet a deadline, no pressure to produce or perform. It's just you, the rhythm of your steps, and the endless landscape of your imagination. As you walk, your thoughts begin to flow like a stream, meandering through ideas, memories, and possibilities. The structure of the day loosens, and your mind finds the space it craves to wander and explore. In this space, creativity takes root. You may notice inspiration sparking from unexpected places, a color in the sky, the shape of a shadow, the way the wind moves through the trees. Even the simplest details can feel like catalysts for new ideas. Walking alone invites you to dream, to entertain thoughts that might feel too big or too abstract in the busyness of everyday life. It's a time when what if questions come alive. What if I tried this? What if I saw things from a completely different angle? There's no judgment in this process, no one to critique your ideas or steer your thinking. That freedom is a gift, allowing creativity to flourish in its most authentic form. Sometimes it's not about finding answers or solutions. It's about planting seeds, small, unpolished ideas that may grow into something remarkable over time. The act of walking itself seems to unlock something in the brain. The motion, the rhythm, the change of scenery, they all work together to create a fertile ground for inspiration. It's why so many great thinkers and artists have found their best ideas while walking. There's a sense of flow, a connection between movement and imagination that seems to awaken parts of the mind that are otherwise dormant. And the beauty of it is that there's no right or wrong way to experience it. You don't need a goal or a plan. You simply walk, allowing your thoughts to unfold naturally, trusting that creativity will find its way to you in its own time. In solitude, creativity doesn't just emerge, it thrives. Walking alone becomes more than a physical journey. It becomes a journey into the limitless potential of your own mind. Walking alone offers a gentle way to regulate your emotions, grounding you in the present moment and restoring a sense of balance. When life feels overwhelming, when anxiety buzzes in your chest, or frustration tightens your shoulders, walking can act as a release valve. It's not just the physical movement, it's the environment you step into. Nature, or even the stillness of a quiet street, seems to mirror the calm you're seeking. The rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, the soft crunch of gravel beneath your feet, all of it creates a soothing soundtrack for your journey. These sounds aren't demanding. They don't ask for attention or urgency. They simply exist, inviting you to settle into their rhythm and breathe a little easier. As you walk, you may notice the tension in your body begin to ease. Your shoulders drop. Your breathing slows. Your steps find a natural, unhurried pace. This movement isn't rushed or forced, it's restorative. The act of walking alone allows your mind to catch up with your body. It gives you space to process what you're feeling without judgment or interruption. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to have the answers. You just move one step at a time, letting the weight of your emotions shift and settle. Anxiety begins to lose its edge when it's met with the steady rhythm of your steps. Frustration softens when it has room to stretch out and dissipate. Even sadness can feel less heavy when carried along a path instead of held tightly within. Walking alone also provides clarity. The repetitive motion seems to untangle thoughts and emotions that felt knotted together. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable, even if nothing external has changed. It's not just about calming down. It's about finding your center again. About remembering that you have the tools to navigate what you're feeling, even when it feels difficult. Walking alone doesn't erase the challenges, but it gives you a chance to meet them with a steadier heart and a clearer mind. It's a simple practice, but its impact is profound, a way to restore not just balance, but a sense of control and peace within yourself. Walking alone has a way of slowing the world down, allowing you to notice the small, beautiful details that are so often overlooked. It's in these quiet, solitary moments that gratitude begins to grow, not through force, but naturally, like sunlight filtering through trees. You might find yourself pausing to watch the golden hues of a sunrise stretch across the horizon. The way the light shifts and dances feels like a quiet reminder of how remarkable each new day truly is. Or maybe, as you walk, the melody of a bird's song catches your attention. Its simplicity is striking, its rhythm steady, and for a moment it's enough just to listen. These are the kinds of moments that walking alone gives you, moments that gently nudge you toward appreciation. Even the sound of your own breath or the steady beat of your heart can feel profound. They're signs of life, of resilience, of your own existence in this vast, interconnected world. There's something grounding about being present in these experiences. The beauty you see and hear isn't asking anything from you. It's simply there, inviting you to notice, and in noticing, to feel grateful. Gratitude found in solitude is different. It's quieter, less tied to obligation or expectation. It's not about listing things you're thankful for. It's about being so immersed in the moment that gratitude arises on its own. A breeze on your face, the texture of a path beneath your feet, the warmth of the sun on your skin, each detail feels like a gift. Even the imperfections, the crooked branches of a tree, the cracks in the pavement become reminders of the beauty in things just as they are. Walking alone teaches you to slow down, to notice, to appreciate. It shifts your focus away from what's missing or overwhelming and brings you back to what's here. Gratitude in these moments doesn't feel like something you have to work for. It feels like something that simply is. And as you continue walking, it stays with you, filling your heart with a quiet joy and a deeper connection to the world around you. Walking alone offers a profound opportunity to redefine your relationship with solitude. It's not about escaping the world, but about returning to yourself. In a society that often equates solitude with loneliness, choosing to walk alone is a quiet rebellion. It's a declaration that being with yourself is not something to fear, but something to embrace. At first, the silence might feel unfamiliar, even unsettling. Without the chatter of others or the distractions of a screen, you're left with only your thoughts for company. But as you walk, something begins to shift. The quiet becomes less about emptiness and more about space to breathe, space to think, space to simply be. You start to recognize that solitude isn't about isolation, it's about connection. A connection with your inner world, with the parts of yourself that often go unnoticed in the rush of daily life. Walking alone becomes a practice in being present with who you are. It teaches you to sit with your thoughts without judgment, to feel your emotions without resistance. In solitude, you discover a well of strength that doesn't rely on external validation or company. You realize that you can face the moments of stillness and find peace within them. This relationship with solitude isn't always easy. It asks for patience, for courage, for a willingness to look inward. But with each walk, you build that relationship. You learn to trust yourself more deeply, to appreciate your own company, to find value in the quiet moments that others might overlook. Solitude, you come to see, isn't a void. It's a canvas wide and open, waiting for you to fill it with your thoughts, dreams, and reflections. And the more time you spend with it, the more it transforms from something that felt daunting to something that feels like home. Walking alone isn't just a physical act, it's an invitation to step into a deeper, more compassionate connection with yourself. To see solitude not as something to avoid, but as a space of growth, renewal, and strength. Walking alone can become more than just a way to get from one place to another. It can transform into a ritual of self-care, a time set aside solely for you. In a world that constantly demands your attention, your energy, your care for others, it's easy to forget the importance of caring for yourself. But when you walk alone, you create a sacred space, a space where you prioritize your own well-being without guilt or hesitation. There's a power in ritual. It's the act of returning to something again and again with intention and purpose. When you walk alone, you're not just moving your body, you're engaging in a practice of self-connection. You might begin by setting the intention before you even step out the door. This is your time, your moment to recharge, to center yourself, and to show yourself the care you often give so freely to others. As you walk, you might consciously release the burdens you've been carrying mentally, emotionally, physically. Each step becomes a way to let go, to clear space for peace and renewal. You can make this ritual your own. Maybe you take a moment to breathe deeply, inhaling the fresh air, allowing your body to relax with each exhale. Maybe you notice the small things, the rustle of leaves, the sound of your footsteps, the beauty of the world around you, and let those details remind you of your own worth. Or perhaps you set a goal for each walk, whether it's to reflect on something you're grateful for, or to simply give yourself permission to not think at all, but to just be. This ritual can be as simple or as elaborate as you like. The point is to create a moment of pause in your day, a time that belongs entirely to you, where the focus is on your own needs and restoration. Over time, this ritual becomes a practice of honoring your own presence, your own needs, your own worth. And as you continue to walk, you begin to see the benefits extend beyond the physical act. You start to carry that sense of care, of self-respect into the rest of your life. You learn that it's not selfish to prioritize yourself, it's necessary. Walking alone is more than a break from the world, it's an act of self-love, a reminder that you are worthy of time, space, and care. And with each step, you deepen your commitment to your own well-being, creating a ritual that nurtures you for the journey ahead. As we've explored, walking alone is more than just an act of movement, it's a profound journey into yourself. It's a chance to reconnect with who you are, to nourish your mind and body, and to cultivate the strength and clarity you need to face life's challenges. In solitude, we find space for creativity, resilience, and presence, allowing us to better navigate the world and the relationships we hold dear. And as we make walking alone a ritual of self-care, we honor the importance of prioritizing our own well-being in a world that often pulls us in many directions. So the next time you step outside, take a walk without distractions, without expectations. Let it be a time to reconnect, to reflect, and to remember that you are enough. Because walking alone isn't just a way to move through the world, it's a way to move deeper into yourself.